Welcome to the Total Faith Show. I am Cynthia Bellinger, your host. I greet you each and every week on Total Faith Show, and I just want to encourage you to continue to visit our website at www.totalfaithnetwork.com. And as some of you know, and those who may be tuning in for the very first time, we are a lifestyle, entertainment, and information network of programs that inspire, educate, challenge, but more importantly, we want to empower you, our Total Faith viewers. And today we have someone special in the audience, in the studio, not in the audience, but in the studio with us today. And she said yes, she had time to visit us and to bless the Total Faith viewers. And I just want to introduce to you and present to some Deborah A. Williams, Dr. Deborah A. Williams. She is the president and CEO of Her Game 2 Incorporated. And I'm just going to give you a brief snapshot of her bio. I'm not going to read it in its entirety, but you need to hear about this awesome, awesome woman of God. Dr. Deborah Williams is the president and CEO of Her Game 2 Inc., an apparel production and talent management company headquartered in Stamford, Connecticut. Dr. Williams, a native of Chicago, Illinois, was summa cum laude graduate of Tugulu College, and she'll correct me if I pronounced it wrong, in Mississippi. She received her master's and doctorate in clinical psychology at the University of Georgia. Her Game 2 production has produced many of the largest fashion show events in the country, including Harlem Week, the Circle of Sisters Fashion Show for WBLS Radio, Stanford Center for the Arts, and the NBA Wives Celebrity Fashion Show. Dr. Williams is the founder of Behind the Bench, the National Basketball Wives Association. Recently, Miss Williams, I like to say Dr. Williams because she's earned it. Dr. Williams was selected as one of the 25 most influential African American women in business by the Network Journal. Most recently, Her Game 2 has entered the mass retail market as it bows at Macy's department stores in August of 2008. I can go on, but I want you to meet this wonderful woman who I'm going to call Dr. Deborah Williams.
Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate you inviting me today.
You know, you are such an encouragement. You are such an encouragement to me, and I wanted you to be here so that you can inspire someone who is watching today, someone who may have ideas about fashion but didn't think that they could do it, or just the whole premise of you even going to school and how you stuck it out and stayed in it, and you've acquired or earned your PhD. I honor that. And that's why I'm going to be calling you Dr. Deborah Williams.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Cynthia.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about, first of all, your clothing line. Okay. The clothing line, which is Her Game 2.
Yes.
Now, where did this birth from?
Well, I was a part of the NBA lifestyle for many years. I was married to Herb Williams, who's coaching here now for the Knicks for 21 years. So I've been on a lot of teams and I've been in a lot of arenas, and I always found myself looking for things that were appealing to a female person that was a fan. And I would always end up with the same thing: a hat, a keychain, a t-shirt, a cup, a coffee mug. And there just really weren't the selections out there that needed to be out there. So I had a meeting with Dave Checketts, who at that time was the president of Madison Square Garden, and I talked to him about the concerns that I had, that there really weren't enough offerings there for the women that were a big part of the game. And he acknowledged that, yes, to some extent, they really never really focused on the women's market, that they they had female buyers, but they really didn't focus
Mm-hmm.
on the customer who was a female customer. And he gave me an opportunity. So I did some anoraks. I created some jackets. I reshaped, that old varsity jacket is kind of shaped like a bubbles, boiled wool and got leather sleeves. Well, I took it and I reshaped it. I made it longer. I made it sleeker for a woman's body. I piped it. I put a little illusion waist on the back so that it make your waist look nice and small. And just really made it a piece that really now appealed to the female customer. So the items did very well at Madison Square Garden. So I did that on a local license, and then I expanded into a national license. And it really has just gone really on from there. It really started out being about sports, but as I've gone along and I've developed it, it's really not about sports. It's just about women in general. It's about the fact that we are now understanding the rules of the game better, and we are willing to play to win. And really that's what our brand has really come to represent. It's just play to win.
Oh, I love it. Her game too. That's an awesome brand,
Yes.
by the way.
Thank you very much.
Also, the fact that, like you said, it first started out one way, but then it evolved.
Right.
It began to evolve.
Right.
Would you say that that was predicated on the fact that because you went back to, or you went to school, and because of your education, do you think maybe something inside you said, you know what, there's more to this, and I want to make this really work in a
bigger way.
In a bigger way.
Well, I think the customers did that for me. The women that were wearing our clothes, some of them did not know anything about sports nor really care about sports, but they really felt empowered and special, and that they were in the game and playing to win when they were wearing our clothes. And it just evolved. It just kind of expanded on its own, the brand did, because I saw, young teenage girls and senior citizens working our outfits in their own respective ways and really feeling good about wearing those garments. And I realized at some point it really had nothing to do with sports whatsoever. It was just about being validated for what you brought to the table and your own individual strengths, and somebody was encouraging you, no matter what it is, keep going and play to win.
So as you was developing, when you started this line and you began to develop it more and more and more, you were in school?
No, I actually didn't start this until afterwards. It's a long drawn out story, but I actually was practicing at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. Herb and I were still married at that point. The day that I was scheduled to sign my contract to go into private practice was the day that he got traded to the Dallas Mavericks. So I never really went into practice. I never really went into private practice, and I had to, took a while to get everything wrapped up. It was a very difficult transition, which is really why I am not doing it, because it was difficult for the clients that I had, the kids. They were very angry, and I just promised I wouldn't do that again to anybody. It's not the kind of profession that you can move around if you have to do it. So I left there and I went to Dallas, Texas, and I went through the whole stress of the licensing process all over again. I became a licensed therapist in Texas just in time to be moved and traded to the New York Knicks. So it was a very interesting circuitous route.
God, though.
And I did work there for as a state psychologist for about a year, and then ended up moving to New York. So when I got to New York, I just realized that this is just not going to work until I'm a little bit more settled. In that interim of time, I started that organization, the Behind the Bench organization, which gave a platform for NBA wives to really be supportive of each other, of women that are in a lifestyle that's a very different lifestyle than a lot of people really understand, and also to combine all of our efforts so that we can really make some profound differences from a charity standpoint. And we've done that by donating millions of dollars over the years since 1993 when that started. So I ran that organization for 6 years, and it gave me the confidence to understand that I had the ability to create and run my own company. I didn't know it before that point. I just knew that at that point we needed to have that organization, but I had to create it from scratch. So I learned how to do a lot of different things, how to organize it, how to put job descriptions together, create a logo, a brand, an identity, how to interface with the NBA, because it wasn't always the easiest transition for them to accept that there was an organization of wives. So I knew how to play with the big boys. I learned some real interesting skills. of how to really get what I needed to get done and not ruffle the waters, but still ruffle the waters and move forward with what our goals were. So I learned that I could do that. I dealt with, I got a great respectful relationship right now with the Commissioner David Stern as a result of wrangling through issues with him and us gaining that mutual respect for each other and developing that. So after that 6 years is when I really started this whole, when it dawned on me. I was looking at the research that they were doing. If you recall, they didn't even have a WNBA back then. So the league was just doing research. Is the female consumer a part of this formula? And the answer was absolutely.
Of course.
And the answer was not only were they a part of it, they were almost 50%, both in terms of who attended the games and who were watching the games on TV. So that kind of gave them that motivation to move forward with the WNBA. But me being on the inside, I'm saying, well, okay, so if that's the case, and we now have documented that half of us we're carrying half of everything here in sports, then why don't our stores really reflect that? And really, that was the impetus to get it started. I really didn't have a fashion background. I just had to learn that all from scratch, roll it up, and I'd go into some of the dregs of the earth and really try to understand how it all works.
Yes.
I did. And when you have to get in it and to understand it, you have to get down in those factories. You have to go to those warehouses, and they're not the nicest places to go. But if you really want to understand your business and know how to run it when pieces fall out of it, you have to know how to do it from scratch.
When we come back from this quick break, I want you to show us some of the line of her game too. And just the mere fact, this is just so empowering, how, you were, even how God just orchestrated everything, and just brought you even to this far. Now you've launched the newest line of her game too.
That's right.
Just recently. That's
right.
Wonderful. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this short announcement.
Ma, I see you eyeing me.
Yeah, I've been watching you.
Can I call you?
I got it ready for you.
What's up with this HIV hotline?
You better check yourself. This ain't no game.
Just want to talk to you.
I'm HIV positive. I didn't protect myself. You still want to talk?
I didn't know.
If you are sexually active, there's only one way to protect yourself for sure. Use condoms correctly every time. Life is what you make it. Be safe.
And now, Dr. Deborah Williams, I want you to talk about the most recent, whichever piece you want to go to first. Which one do we want to look at?
Well, I'll start with the All-Star piece.
Okay.
During NBA All-Star Weekend in Orlando,
Yes.
just a couple of weeks ago, we launched our Platinum Collection. We're very, very excited about it. If you notice, that's just one of the pieces from there. But everything about that collection brought a little bit more glamour to the NBA. So we got some really exciting things that are going to happen, some product that's going to make its way into the marketplace.
Sure.
And we're excited about that.
And that's this top piece here.
That's one of the pieces.
One of
yes.
the pieces in which you have the little what is it, custom jewelry around.
Yes, you always have to have a little bit of accessory.
Something, accessory.
Right, exactly.
And what is this?
So that top is called a sublimated top. So the bling on that is not actually on the top. It's just sublimated into the fabric of the top.
Wow. Beautiful.
This is one of the pieces that we've had. It just symbolizes what we do. We're an active lifestyle collection, and ladies, big and small, are able to put this on, wear it on the weekends, wear it if they decide to go out and play tennis. It comes with a little short, or also a long capri short if you We need to do a little bit more exercising,
Okay,
like
like
most
me.
of us do.
Like
That's
me.
right.
Like me.
Exactly. You got these big legs, and you need to cover them up a bit. There's a longer capri that you can
Okay.
wear with that. But it's just a comfortable, easy piece that stretches, that moves, and that breathes, and that's what we always want to be known for.
Now listen, I want to ask full figure because I mean I may not look full figure, but I like to think that I'm full figure. We can get into this.
Absolutely.
Okay, just
Absolutely.
checking. Just checking.
Almost all of our things are sized up to size 2X. As I start moving forward, I'm going to go to 3X. I like to even go bigger than 3X, but we're going to at least, at the very least in everything, go to 2X.
Okay, and then this piece behind you.
This is one of our signature pieces.
I love that piece. I love
This
it.
is one of, I mean, it's just very
That's your
simple,
signature piece?
elegant.
One of-
Yes.
Oh, I
we
love
do. We
it.
have like a series of dresses then with different patterns. Some have the stripes, some don't have the stripes, some are just plain. But basically, I like dresses that you can have multiple uses for. So you can take this dress, you can put it on with the blazer, you can put it on with a little shrug, you can put it on with something sparkly and some sparkly
Right.
shoes, and now you're
Sure.
ready for evening. I like dresses that or outfits or pieces that you can take and it's multifunctional, and
Sure.
this has really been our popular piece all from the beginning. We just keep making it and making it and making it,
And it comes in
because
different
it
colors,
drapes. It
or-
just only this right now comes in black, but it just
Okay.
comes in different styles of black.
I would love to see that in other colors.
I'll have to take that. I'll work
consider-
on that. Absolutely, I'll work
No,
on that.
I love this black and
Yes.
white. I love
but
it.
for the spring, you're right. We can do some more fun
boy.
colors with it.
'Cause
Absolutely.
something like that, I would like want to buy every color.
Right. It's because you
You
can throw it
know.
on with your flip flops. You can wear sneakers if you want to run around in your sneakers. You can put it on with some smoking
Listen,
boots.
go to the
It doesn't matter.
supermarket, shop,
Everything.
because
Everything. Flat boots, heel boots,
love
sparkly
it.
shoes.
I
It doesn't
love
matter. You can just take that and make whatever
So
you
let's
want.
talk about the launch. How
Okay.
did it go?
Oh my
Talk
gosh,
about it, please.
Cynthia, it
Share
was
with
amazing.
us.
It was amazing. We were at the Disney Swan Hotel in Orlando, Florida, and it was just amazing. We had Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives, and a lot of people know her, and there's all kinds of, rumblings, but I thought she was amazing. She was very poised. She was wonderfully kind to everybody who was there. She was patient, and she did a phenomenal job. So I'm very, very happy.
Good report.
And I feel that she really showed us that sometimes when you look at TV shows, you can't always believe everything that you see. That
Right.
it gets edited, how it gets edited, and I think she sometimes feels that she's not really portrayed in a realistic way. But I have to say, for what she did with us, everybody absolutely loved
So
her.
she was your host.
She was our host. She was
Okay.
our fabulous
The host
for
with the
evening.
most.
The host with
And-
absolutely the most.
Wow.
So we had a lot of people that came. We had a number of the NBA wives that were in attendance. Dikembe Mutombo was there, and his lovely wife Rose, and Dooling from the Chicago Bulls came with his wife Natasha. We had several of the WNBA players who are going to be part of the fashion show next year. So Kim Hampton was there. She's actually working for the Liberty now. She played there many years. Ashley Robinson. We had our troops were there. We just had so many, our corporate sponsors. I can't thank them enough, of course. They were just a room full of very supportive, loving people that were there on that evening. So
Wow.
I'm just very
It was
happy and very
successful.
blessed. Absolutely.
What a great report.
Absolutely.
And now we get back home
yes.
to the to Stanford.
Yes,
and
that's
now,
where the real work starts.
Okay. And now
That's where the real work
we get
starts.
ready to prepare for other productions, because you also are production.
That's right. So right now we're really busy. We've got a lot of follow up from All Star Weekend. We've got a lot of media things that we're doing.
Sure.
We've got to finish our website. That's a big part of our business going forward. So we're working diligently to get that, and probably in another 2 weeks. So stay tuned.
Sure,
To
sure.
our website. You have to tell
And
our
their
website.
website
It's
is
www.hergame2 with the number 2.com. But we got some great, exciting things that are going to be happening with the website. We're partnering up with WBLS Radio. So there's some
Good.
really great things that are going to be happening in the next few weeks. So I'm excited about that. Busy working on the bridal show, producing that for BLS. That happens later this month on the 24th at Hotel Pennsylvania.
Is this something that they do every year?
Yes.
So now are you
This is our first time doing the bridal show. We
we
do the Circle of Sisters every year, but this is our first year doing the bridal show. So we just kind of jumped in it a couple weeks ago, and we're going to make it as fabulous as we can. So
Okay.
that's a new show for us.
Well, it looks like the sky's the limit for you. Looks like, bigger
I
and
hope
better,
so.
greater. I just see so much happening. I mean, you've really you really paid your dues. You really have, you've really sowed a lot into what you've done and how you've thought about what you've done, because it's about empowering people.
That's right.
Especially women.
That's right.
And I appreciate
That's
that
right.
as a woman myself, because, it's such a patriarchal world that we live in, even though we're more populated with women.
We have a lot. We
But-
juggle a lot.
Yeah, we do. We juggle a lot, but
Right.
you are an exception, and you are definitely an inspiration to all that are watching. I pray that are watching, that you are inspiring someone. Now, we don't have much time, but I
Okay.
want you to look into the camera, and I want you to encourage someone who may not, maybe like you said, you didn't have a background in fashion, but it was your destiny. You start a psychologist,
One path and
doctor.
that's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
so one path leads to another. So it's not always what we think until we walk it out.
That's
so I
right.
want you to encourage someone, because someone may be watching, maybe low self-esteem, depressed, or maybe thinking that they're onto the right path, but now they're feeling something staring up in them. Why don't you talk to that?
Well, what I would say is don't be afraid. I think that what stops us many, many times is fear. It's fear of what's going to happen in my life if I'm successful. It's fear of what's going to happen to my life if I fail. But sometimes you just have to trust God and step out on faith and move yourself forward. And it doesn't always mean that you have to jump completely in the pool. Sometimes you just have to take your little shoe off and put your toe in the pool, and then your ankle in the pool, and then your leg in the pool, and eventually you'll end up fully in the pool. So you don't have to jump in, but don't hesitate. Don't let fear be the thing that stops you from doing what you know you really have a passion about. Don't get up every single morning doing something that you hate when you could spend your life doing what you love and being really fulfilled, because when you do something that you love, then it's not even work. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Just believe in yourself and your ability to do and make these things happen. I think there's a magic that happens as you see things starting to happen in our lives right now. And trust me, it hasn't been easy. I've been through a lot of battles and wars trying to get to where we're trying to get to at this point. So I'm not going to disillusion you by saying that it's easy, but I'm saying that it can be done, that you have to have faith in your ability. You have to trust your dream and your passion and what's on the inside of you, and things will definitely start to happen.
Wow, you was encouraging me, because I'm sitting here saying, wow, you're right. When you're doing something that you're really passionate about,
Right.
it's not work.
It's not work.
It's
not.
not.
You want to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to get up in the morning because you
Right.
just have to pay the bills. I mean, we all understand that. That's why you put your toe in the water first. But we all understand that. But at the end of the day,
Right.
you have to find a way to do what you love. And I respect Oprah, because Oprah said it very clearly that when you live your life without passion, that's the same as death. You have to do what you love to do. Find some way to do what you love to do. And even if you can't afford to sustain yourself on it, don't stop doing it. If you like to paint, paint. If you like to swim, swim. If you love to work out, start moving. I mean, you have to find a way to do the things in your life that you are passionate about.
Absolutely. And also on that note, passionate people, most passionate people are very successful people.
Exactly.
Also.
Exactly.
So you have to
Because it takes a lot.
It
and
does.
you have to really be willing to stay in there
does. It does.
through all of those tough
That's
times
right.
that you're going to go through.
And that's what I was just about to
That's
say.
right.
You already said that. And
That's
to
right.
reiterate, it is not going to be a bed of roses,
That's
but you
right.
got to just keep on pressing.
Got to keep moving.
Even God says, just keep pressing, pressing,
That's right.
pressing.
That's
Because as a believer, I truly believe that no matter whatever I do or however I do it, that at the end of the day, I want to make sure that God has given me the path. You know what I mean? Even though if I don't understand, because like with school, I don't always understand
Right.
at all, because it's
Right.
hard.
It is hard.
It's hard,
is
but
hard.
I keep pressing. Maybe with tears in my eyes, but I keep pressing.
Believe me, I left a lot of tears down in Georgia. I left a lot of tears down in Georgia.
Well, I'm glad to have
So
had you on the show, and I'm glad to have finally got to meet you face to face. And I
Definitely.
thank you for being a guest on Total Faith. And anyone that might want to get in touch with you, they're going to go to the website, because we're going to make sure that it's on the channel that where they can reach you. And again, I just thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your invitation.
And I want that dress.
You can have it.
I love it. It's so nice. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you so
Deborah
much.
Williams.
Thank you, Cynthia.
This is Cynthia Bellinger, host for the Total Faith Show, and thank you for tuning in and sharing this stage, this platform, this time with us, Dr. Deborah Williams and myself. We thank you for tuning in, and as I always say, we at Total Faith Network, we walk in total faith. Take care, and God bless you.